C++ constructor and destructor. Definition of constructor. A constructor is a member function of a class which initializes object of a class. In C++, constructor is automatically called when object create. It is special member function of a class. A constructor will have extra same name as the class and it does not have any return type at all. Not even void. Constructor can be very useful for setting initial value for certain member variable. Type of constructor. Default parameterized copy. Default constructor. A default constructor is a constructor that either has no parameter or if it has parameter, all the parameters have a default value. If no user-defined constructor exists for a class A and one is needed, the compiler declares a default parameterized constructor. This constructor is an inline public member of its class. A compiler will define when the compiler uses the constructor to create an object of type A. The constructor will have no constructor initialize and null body. Default constructor is the constructor which doesn't take any argument, it has no parameter. Parameterized constructor. A constructor is called parameterized constructor when it accepts a specific number of parameters to initialize a data member of a class with a distinct value. With a parameterized constructor for a class, one must provide initial value as arguments, otherwise the compiler reports an error. It may be necessary to initialize the various data elements of different objects with different value when they are created. This is achieved by passing argument to the constructor function when the objects are created. The constructor that can take arguments are called parameterized constructor. Copy constructor. A copy constructor has one formal parameter, that is the type of a class. It is used to create a copy of an existing object of the same class. Even though both classes are the same, it counts as a conversion constructor. While copy constructor they have nothing to do with class constructor used in net using the same abbreviation. Definition of a destructor. Destructor is a special member function that is executed automatically when an object is destroyed that has been created by the constructor. C++ destructors are used to deallocate the memory that has been allocated for the object by the constructor. Destructor is the member function which destructs or deletes an object. In a language with an automatic garbage collection mechanism, it would be difficult to deterministically ensure the invocation of a destructor, and hence these languages are generally considered unsuitable for RAII. In such languages, unlinking an object from existing resources must be done by an explicit call of an approximate function. Destructor of a syntax. C++ destructors have the same name as the class with which they are associated but with the title prefix D. Destructors are declared with the name this. Object parcel. Destructors have the keyword destructor and can have user defined names but are mostly named destroy. Object sieve. The destructor method have a name dlog. Properties of destructor of C++. It is called automatically when class object goes out of a scope or when delete an object of the class and cannot be invoked explicit. Can be considered as explicit destructor called as whenever we call delete an object destructor get called, but directly destructor cannot be called. It does not receive any parameter, so cannot be overloaded. Destructors cannot be overridden hidden and can't inherit them. Any class can have at most one destructor. Destructors can be a virtual to maintain the inheritance of destructors called inheritance for polymorphic classes. Polymorphic classes means a class having at least one visual function. Assignment done by Madesh R.